Hello and welcome to The Hero Spouse. I'm Kenda Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have Judy, a left behind and forward moving spouse whose bomb drop is September of 2019. Her date of marriage is 1985. She has a clinging boomerang and a high energy replayer. Judy says that my husband had been in a relationship with the alienator for 12 months and then she broke up and he asked if I wanted him back. I said yes, and he said that we should proceed slowly. Then they got back together. But he still wants to maintain a friendship with me. He's provided money to help with my living costs, and he wants to visit. At this point, I said no, because I can't be friends with him. I'm his wife. I tried no contact and failed, and I just want to build rapport with him. He says that he's incapable of answering simple, everyday questions that I email him, but he wants to visit. And he talks about the alienator, which emotionally destabilizes me. Why does he want to visit if he can't act like a friend and discuss non-triggering questions? Parentheses, relationship-oriented. He maintains he is not having an affair, as it is now 2.5 years since bomb drop. What I think she means here is he maintains that this relationship is now no longer an affair, since it's been 2.5 years since bomb drop, since he left. And he has had the breakup with me and now reconciled with her. So he's not saying he's not in a relationship with her. He's just trying to reframe it. They want to marry. Is this a lost cause? This is not a lost cause. You have a clinging boomerang. They want to marry, but they've broken up before. Really good sign for a great marriage, isn't it? They started out as an affair. It's still an affair. You haven't said that you're divorced even, and he tried to come back to you. It's an affair. So a couple things that you do is, if there is a conversation, and I'm not saying you should have these, but when he says certain things like, it's not an affair, what you do is you say, you and I both know this is an illegitimate relationship with her. It is an affair, it is an infidelity, and it's betrayal. You can try and change your mind about that, but you know the actual truth. You know that you're lying not only to me, to yourself, and I'm not buying it. I don't have stupid stamped on my forehead. It's not open for discussion. And then you can even say goodbye. Or not. And by goodbye, I mean if you're talking on the phone, you hang up. So there's that one. What is happening is normal. It's been 2.5 years since bomb drop, and he's cycling. He's tried to come home. So it may have been trying to come home out of convenience because she broke up with him. And so, might as well go back over here. Since I don't have this, I've got this. I've got a backup plan, and I know you don't want to be that, and I don't want you to be the backup plan. You're going to be the forward plan, if that's what you're looking for. Okay? And it doesn't make you second best. It doesn't mean that since he doesn't have her someday, he's choosing you as the backup. No. He chose you first. You're the wife. You still have that. And if he marries her someday, she's the one he left you for. In other words, she's the one that he used to destroy his life and marriage. That doesn't bode for a positive, stable, and lasting relationship, even if they get a piece of paper that says you're now legally married. Okay. He is helping you with money. He wants to come over and be your friend. And I like what you said, that you said no because I can't be friends with him. I'm his wife. That's right. And I've said, of course, you're going to be friends with him when you are being his wife and there's not infidelity and you're together, right? So I use that I won't be friends with you outside of a marital context, outside of a marital relationship. I won't be friends with you. We're not buddies is what that really means. True friends don't do that to each other the way what he's doing. He's trying to legitimize his relationship with you when he talks about it. So there's a few things that I don't want you to be doing. I do want you to go no contact, though, and we'll talk about that later. But when you're not having that, let's talk about it. Because I went no contact, and I'll talk about what you need to do and what kind it needs to be. But I sucked at it too. And so I know the reality of it is even in no contact, we break it, they break it, they break it anyway, and then we allow it to be broken. In other words, we answer the phone knowing it's them, or we answer the door knowing it's them. Can't stop them from calling, but we could stop ourselves from answering. But we do, and so it brings up we have communication. And so what should you do in those times? He says he's incapable of answering simple everyday questions that I email him. Don't email him questions. Don't ask questions. Simple everyday questions could even be, how's the weather? MLCers can't handle questions. Now, there is ways to ask them, but that's a lot deeper than we're going to go right now. And not simple everyday ones, okay? Do not ask him questions. That's just putting him on the spot. It's a challenge, and he doesn't know what to do. He wants to visit. No. While you are having an inappropriate relationship, you are not allowed to be a part of my life. Period. That's the boundary we're going to put out. And he talks about the alienator, which emotionally destabilizes me. He's with you now on the phone talking about her. You first tell him the boundary. You are not allowed to discuss her with me. The moment he does it, you do one of two things. You either remind him of the boundary and see if he stops, or you say, let's say you're on the phone, click, you hang up and you don't say a thing. Or you say, you've spoken about her, I told you not to, goodbye. So what you can do is you can give him the opportunity to stop. And if he continues, you enforce it. Because, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It was just natural. And that could be the case. Or you click without saying anything, and then he might not realize what he'd done and wonder why you did that and you're rude. It's okay. You still have enforced your boundary. Or you tell him the boundary and then click. You choose one of those three, okay? Or if he is sitting there with you, let's say you're at a coffee shop, you're not at home. Same process. You get up and walk out. You tell him why you are about to get up and walk out and you do it, or you give him the opportunity to stop. And if he doesn't, you get up and walk out. Same thing if he's at your house. You escort him to the door in those three scenarios. You tell him to get out. Don't be, get out now! I'm sorry. You have broken the boundary which I said needed to be held. It is disrespectful to me. It's not anger. Notice this. I'm speaking like I have an expectation. You've broken it. I am disappointed. But I don't want there to be anger or animosity. You keep your cool. Okay? You've disappointed me. I said that we needed to not discuss this. The reason is not discuss it is it is challenging to me. It is disrespectful to me. And it triggers me. Because you are using her to betray me. Not did. You are. Okay? And then you walk him out. He doesn't have to agree. It doesn't matter. We're not talking about something. It's like, that's not what I'm doing. This isn't something we're going to agree or disagree about. It's a fact. Discussing her triggers me. You have been asked to leave. Now you need to do that. You can have another, and let's say he'd refused, and so that's why you're asking him to leave. You say, well, but I'll stop. Good. You can have a chance the next time this happens. Go away and practice it. I want you to be firm, and I know it's difficult. I know it is. I've been there. Okay? I've been there with one who came home and left, and one who talked about her. Often when he talked about her, sometimes he was using it to taunt me. So here's the thing, though. It's not that I tried and failed. I don't want you to try no contact. I want you to do it. And yeah, sometimes that's going to break. It doesn't mean you fail it. When no contact fails is when you allow it to break and you allow that to be, okay, as an alcoholic, I just fell off the wagon. I might as well keep drinking. You get back on. Failure is when you don't get back on that wagon. It's when you don't say, okay, I'm going to repair that fence and we're back to the boundary. It's hard. You can do it. Okay? It's not about building rapport with him. I'm hoping that you've done that. First thing, I hope you had rapport with your spouse through the years of your marriage. But let's say it was something I had to rebuild a lot with Chuck. And I had done it. What you want is to have built reassurance. At 2.5 years, I think you might have done that. I don't know, but it's not rapport, it's reassurance. He is reassured that you aren't going anywhere. He gets so reassured that I can do anything. No, you can't. Because what you're reassured of is, I won't divorce you, that I will be here when the time is right, when you are an appropriate spouse. There's a when to that. And so the type of no contact boundary you set, and remember, a no contact boundary is something you communicate with him. And you can communicate your why. I am doing this because your behavior is inappropriate. And it would be disrespectful of me to continue a relationship with you. And I'm not talking about disrespect for her. I'm talking about disrespectful to marriage, to our marriage and to all marriages. You are setting a no contact boundary that is the exit clause type. The exit clause is built into the communication of the boundary. He always knows how to get out of the boundary. In other words, he knows how to contact you and not it be about breaking the boundary. First, emergency contact is fine. Your child is in an accident and one of you needs to contact the other to go to the hospital. Perfectly allowed. Okay. But let's talk about the other. He leaves her. You are allowed to contact me when you have gotten rid of her. I don't even say broken up. I say gotten rid of. When she is no longer a part of your life, you may contact me. Let me know. Don't contact me before that. And you put a visit period and say, well, what about if something happens? Yeah, there's exceptions for emergencies. Calling because you're sad isn't an emergency. Calling because you want to whine about her having broken up with you and you just need some poor sap to hold you up isn't an emergency. You call when you're ready to be appropriate. She's gotten rid of your life and you're ready to be an appropriate spouse, not some sort of buddy that takes advantage of friendship. You call me when you're ready to start being an appropriate spouse. So let's put it that way, because they come back broken. He's not going to be healed and everything. You have to do that, parts of that together. But he calls you when he is ready to heal with you as a husband. And you are to move forward in your marriage. And that's a process. You can reassure him that doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect or great or even completely certain. But you're certain that you want to work on it. That you are certain you want to put the effort into it. You are certain, or you might not be certain that it'll work, but you're certain you want it to work. That's when he's allowed to contact you. Your job is not to sit there and listen to him. Your job is not to email him questions. Your job is not to have him visit. He has to know no visits, absolute. And the reason is because he is having an affair. And I don't even like the word affair as much as I like adultery and infidelity. Adultery is one that's very biblical. It really is biblical. So infidelity might even be better. Affair, it's an affair to remember. And we can have affairs that they call them an affair, but sometimes it's not an infidelity. And so it's just used this pretty word, infidelity, betrayal, those words, and adultery if that has power with him. And he knows that it is those. It's all of them. You don't get to let him off the hook for it. You can even use, you can pick your opinions, but you don't get to pick your facts. And the fact is, you're having a sexual relationship while married to me. Or you started out this relationship as a sexual relationship while married to me. There's a divorce. And you're with that same person. That makes it illegitimate. Period. Full stop. Okay? I don't want you to let him get away with that. Okay. I hope this was helpful. I've been through this piece of it, just like this, myself. Let me know if you have any more questions, and I will see everybody else in the